Hey, hi everyone. I'm not sure who will be listening to that, but I wanted to share some thoughts today about something that comes up very often where I currently live, sorry, which is Cambodia, country in Southeast Asia. And I've met a lot of people that are very into what I call the just be good enough. And I'm bothered by that because I've realized over the past 4 years that it's something I suffered from as well. I thought that I was already good enough to get paid. I was already good enough to do this or do that. I was already good enough to not have to think that I have to go through my relationships without downs, that there will always ups. No. Ups and downs, they're everything. It's being good enough, and this concept of being good enough is toxic in some way. And I understand that it goes along the way, or it surfaces on the wave of accept yourself. You need to accept who you are, the way you are, because you are beautiful the way you are. You are perfect the way you are. You don't need to work out. You don't need to go and do diets. You don't need to try to be a better person and heal your trauma and not be a fucking petulant child. Those kind of things. And I was like that, definitely. That's 100% sure. But I don't know, somehow facing that reality when it's explained in those words, I just could not just walk back from it. I could not some people choose to blindfold themselves. They choose to I don't know why. Oh yeah, I do why. I do know why. It's fear of pain. Fear of getting hurt somehow. And I understand that. It's not fun to be in pain, but is good enough really the best you can do? I mean, is it the kind of life you want to live? Do you want to be in this earth to just wander and be good enough at your job that you don't change, that you keep the same job for 40 years, waiting for the pension to arrive so that you can be retired? But what have you done for those 40 years? Have you actually worked your body to a place where it's going to be fun to be 80 years old? Or you're going to be crippled because you were sitting on a desk for 40 years? And you think that you're going to be able to enjoy your pension years, but you know what? First, there might not be any pensions left after a while. But your body is not going to be allowing you to fully enjoy it. That's the thing. And probably the amount of work that you've put into whatever you think it was worth, whatever you think was worth it, you didn't put that effort into growing yourself up. You didn't put that effort into mastering your skill set. You didn't put that effort into figuring out why when you think about this or that, it makes you cry. You didn't put that effort into, I know that I'm not perfect, but I'm good enough. No, that bothers me so much. That's how we get to a society that just slowly dies. It just slowly dies because it's a bumper sticker kind of mentality. There is the good enough, we're good enough, and it's one way or another. It cannot be nuanced. It cannot be something in between. It cannot be a tailor-made solution for each individual. It is the way that things should be. Well, no. Good enough is boring. You don't evolve. You stagnate. You just be your own miserable self after a while. By yourself, alone. I don't want to be that kind of person. And since I've met my spouse, who's highly autistic and just cannot lie to himself, he just cannot. That's something he is physically unable to. He thinks of himself as disabled in a way, that's for sure. But I see it as some kind of weird superpower in a weird way, because I wish I was. No, I didn't wish I was autistic, because the way he suffers also is really heart wrenching. But the way he manages to deal with reality is so much logical, so much more logical, so much less emotional pain, because he realizes that there's just no reason to put so many emotions into things that are not worth it. So it's fully agree. You need to express your emotions one way or another, otherwise they build into yourself, and it's awful after a while. But is it really worth getting so annoyed and getting angry because your dog munched the sofa? Are you really gonna Are you gonna really hit the dog because of that, or are you gonna accept the reality that a dog may not be made at first to live in a house, and that he's growing up, and that he needs to test his limits like every other being on Earth? That's how. I mean, maybe not ants, because they are really. Ants are one of the. Ants, bees. Those are people who do. Are beings that do things perfectly. They have one system that they do to the perfection, but they have no contingency plan. There's no initiative. There's no, hey, what if a big bear decides to just, oops, sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm tired of the culture of the good enough. It's never good enough. I'm not trying to reach perfection. Yes, what if a bear decides to attack the bee colony, and well, got nothing we can do about that. And I get that. That's the cycle of nature, and there are a lot of things like that. But humans are not like that. Humans are made to evolve. We have evolved so much over the past 10,000 years. So much has occurred in the last 200-300 years. The evolution that we go through is very fast. It's very fast, but a lot of people are resistant to the idea that changing is a good thing. They think that whatever is there is comfortable and is enough. It's good enough. Why do you need to learn to play bass on the 6-string bass? Why don't you learn on the 4-string bass? Because it gives me an arsenal of notes that I can play with that you can't with your 4 strings, And why is that so bad? Like, literally, my roommate had a conversation with a person one day. For an hour, that guy wouldn't understand why on earth would you choose to learn to play bass on a 6-string bass. And I'm like, but what if it's just my choice? What if it's just my thing? Why are you trying to convince me to do something that is just good enough? Why don't you want me to try to reach perfection, even if I know I can't reach it? Nobody can. We're not made to do perfect things. We're made to do evolving things that are borrowed by one another. There's not many original thoughts anymore. We borrow everything from what has been said already, because I don't think our brains are evolved enough to come up with a way to levitate yet and defy gravity or whatever it is that we still need to unravel. Yeah, it's very frustrating, because I'm good-willed, I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to damage anyone. I don't want to steal from people to get what I want. I want to remain my own employee and boss at the same time. If I can employ 1 or 2 people, it's cool, but I will make sure I employ people that I trust and that I have a connection with. It's much nicer to work with people who you're familiar with and you're comfortable with. Like, this is lost now. I don't want to work in companies anymore for that reason, because any kind of initiative or a creative idea probably will not be welcome. And there are places where there are, but it's not that common. And I don't know if it's the place we live in right now, if it's the mentality of people around, but I can't wait to live in a place where people are actual adults, where they are willing to say, okay, I know you suck at this and you suck at that, but you're fucking good at that and you're decent at this, and I think you should be able to make some money with this. And I want you to work for me because this or this or that. And we actually interact, we actually exchange, we actually listen to each other's ideas without putting any emotional load on it. Like, there's no way to get offended if I disagree with your idea. It's just a fucking idea. Why is it so bad? Why difference is so bad? Why is difference? Why is being different so bad? I don't get it. We have a saying in French that says, I think that there definitely is a translation for it in English. Birds of the same feather nest together, something like this. Basically, people who look alike or think alike tend to attract each other, but we also have the contrary that says opposites attract each other. And I think that's more what life is about. We know we are all like a crate box. Like I'm looking at an egg crate right now. We all have those little imperfections, those dents. We all have those weaknesses. We have strength as well. But nobody has the same strength as the other person next to him. And from the same family, from the same country, from different countries. There are archetypes of obviously. Otherwise, psychology wouldn't have evolved and we wouldn't talk about cross-cultural communication and all those things and stereotypes. Of course, I get that. But in the end, we're not, there's no way there are two people that are strictly identical in the way they think, the way they are, the way they behave, the way they act. And their spirituality as well. So, we need to find those people who complete ourselves. That's why teams are important. That's why communities are important. And I'm finally learning what it is to be in a community. I'm not talking about the daily shit, but really investing yourself in other people's lives as well. Sorry. And realizing that helping them will benefit you at some point or another. Even it's not about waiting to receive something back. It's okay, I can give that things for free. Why don't I? Oh, because I want to make more money. Sure, everybody does want to make more money, right? I don't think, except for the 0.01%. Well, no, that's not even true because they keep on working to make sure that they can steal as much as they can from people who have nothing. So it's sad. It's just sad the way that most of us choose to do the good enough because that's what works. You don't need to put more effort because it's already working. It's 60% working. Why do you need to make it work at 90%? Why do you want to put the extra effort? Of course, you have to mitigate sometimes and figure out, okay, if I put like that much of my effort, that's going to give me only a percentage, like a very small percentage of return on investment. Like I'm actually going to increase my life in positivity by a very, very small number. So it might not be worth to put that much effort forward for such a small return. But if you never take those steps and if you never look at yourself and realize that you're far from being perfect, so freaking far from being perfect, and everybody is far from being perfect. The only thing we can try to do is just believe that we can be better. Believe that you can be better. Set yourself in motion. Make plans. Make goals. Define goals. Go step by step, and celebrate every little success that you have. I'm not inventing anything. I'm just literally spitting back all the things that I've been listening to and finally integrating into my own life. And it took me years. That's for sure. All the Tony Robbins and Jordan Petersons in the world. Sorry. It still takes a while for one to accept someone else's ideas, to review your own narrative, your own version of reality, and realize, okay, I was not aware of those options as well. I was not aware that my behavior was so bad for myself and ultimately bad for others as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to move to a place where all our energy will be welcome, one way or another. Even if I don't have, for example, I'm shit at marketing. I hate that. I hate spending hours on the computer. It's the part of what I do that I hate the most. But I know that it needs to be done. So I'm much, much more willing to say, hey, I'll pay you that many bucks an hour or per week so that you can do my marketing and you can help me get organized in a better way. Why pretend that I can learn everything? Why pretend that I have enough hours in the day to do everything by myself? I can't. But right now I can't afford to do that, so I am doing whatever I can. But that's the goal, yeah. Build a community where people actually interact with each other and exchange and help each other, and are okay to say, yeah, I am weak in that. I am super weak in that. But I see that you're strong doing this. Can you please do that for me? And in exchange, I will make sure that I cover your weakness in some points, in one way or another. So, yeah. That was the thought of the day. I think that's going to be all for now. Thank you.